I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully, it's disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little bro, them. And I'ma tell them where I'm at. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state. And of course, as always, I'm upset. Have you ever asked yourself, why am I paying so much for cell phone service? I'm sure you have. I know I have. And I have a solution for you in the form of Mint Mobile. Use the description in the video here. Check out Mint Mobile's plans. You can get unlimited service for as low as $15 a month. That is not a gimmick. Trust me. Stay in. Good evening, good people. It is I, the Maize Madman. I'm upset, except I'm not. Michigan just made a hiring. Memphis is now, well, former Memphis, for like a hot second, Memphis co-defensive coordinator / defensive line coach Lou Esposito to the defensive line coach opening that Michigan had after, of course, the resignation of Greg Scruggs, mostly being forced out, but that's neither here nor there. I am a fan of the hire. How do you guys feel about it? Esposito, not a splashy hire, not at all, right? It's just a solid hire. It's the right hire, if you know what I mean. It's like a dude who has developed talent that most people in college football would consider less than, right? But he's developed NFL talent at Western Michigan, where he was before accepting the Memphis job that he now has thrown to the wayside. But Michigan is Michigan, and you can't turn that down. Just ask Tony Alford. Anyway, let's get to your comments really quick. I got my guy Twan in here already. You know what's up. Coach Moore got a guy who can teach and is able to identify diamond in the rough talent. As far as I'm concerned, that's a great asset. I agree. It's a great skill to find and teach and develop lower level players, because if you can do that with so-called lower level players, then higher level players should be monsters. Also agree. Shout out to my guy Mello, my favorite op. But shout out to Mello. He ain't LJ. Oh man, come on, bro. To be real, I don't know. That's fair. Not a lot of people watching Western Michigan football. I get it. I don't care about flashy. I care about substance. Michigan got another teacher instead of a brand name. Facts. Can't disagree with anything that you said so far. I'm not sure how I feel about this hire. No doubt, Moose. Tell us why it is you feel that way. Look, I'll be honest. I don't watch a lot of Western Michigan football, but reading my guy's resume is what got me on board. Right. Like Antoine said, a lot of what people would deem lesser talent guys, right, that he's coached and has coached up to a level where, you know, one would consider better than lesser than. In fact, he's got a couple NFL talent guys that are going to go in the NFL draft upcoming. So I'm on board with it. And I think at Michigan, his ability to find and develop talent will only be highlighted. Michigan is a brand. That's something he didn't have at Western Michigan per se. DeCoy Malone, what's going on? How do I'm sure I'm saying that. I'm jacking that up, bro. But go blue. That's what I'm worried about. Damn it, man. Ask JTT. My call, second round pick. Yeah, no doubt. Look, man, this is what I have read about my guy. Obviously, he's been at Western Michigan for a long time. I think since 2007, somewhere around there, 2010, something like that, to 2023. He was defensive line coach / defensive coordinator for Western Michigan. He got a chance to kind of step into a bigger bigger league, let me say that, with Memphis as the co-defensive coordinator / defensive line coach. He jumped on it, but then Sherrone Moore came calling with the defensive line coach opportunity at the University of Michigan, and of course that took precedent over anything else he had going on. So I'm not mad at him for leaving Memphis. No disrespect to Memphis. I'm sure they'll find somebody, but Michigan is Michigan. It's the defending champs. He's freeing them this season. Keep watching. He wanted the ends cage rush because he feared Michigan's run game. Look, bro, he should fear Michigan's run game. Everyone should. Anyway, let's hop into it. I know you guys have expressed some concerns. My guy Moose has already expressed some concerns. I thought JTT and Sawyer were first round. What happened? That's a fact. So for those who don't know, I was just on the Scarlet and Blue show. Shout out to Buckeye Garrison, my guy Bryce over there, setting Garrison straight, setting Ohio State fans straight on a few things, including the fact that Sawyer and JTT aren't worth whatever they're getting paid, because we already know they're getting paid over there at the other state, and whatever you're paying them is too much. All right. JTT had a flash in the pan game against Penn State 2 years ago now, and his whole entire college career has been predicated on that game and what Ohio State fans like want or can see somehow out of him. Although since that game, before that game, big thumbs down. Jack Sawyer played well against Missouri in that bowl game. In fact, he was the only Ohio State player who came to play in that bowl game. But other than that, he's been splat. I think JTT was the number 2 recruit overall in that class, and I think Jack Sawyer was like number 4 or 5 overall in that class, and it hasn't panned out, which just goes to show, right? And take this for whatever you want. Ohio State fans, cover your ears. Michigan has not had a number 2 or 3 or 4 defensive end in a long time. In fact, it's been a while, been a good while, and still somehow they are getting the most out of these guys. You know why? Because of the strength and conditioning, the development by their position coach. And I know an argument can be made that Ben Herbert's gone, Mike Elston's gone. There's an argument that can be made that, Michigan doesn't have those luxuries anymore. However, they just hired Esposito. They have one of the top strength and conditioning coaches on the staff still. So it's all about the development and the culture. Michigan's culture is what it is, and it has produced the talent that is produced from where they started anyway. And let's not act like Michigan just gets bums either. It's a lot of 4 stars on that Michigan roster. So let's keep it funky that way. But I will say this: come late November, we ready. We strictly to the other state. It's a lot of goofies with a check. Y'all spend a lot of money over there to get the results y'all been getting. As I told those guys over there, there's a lot of high school juniors and seniors who've seen Ohio State do nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have won nothing of importance throughout these guys' high school careers. All these guys you're recruiting or paying, and I know that's been a hot button topic too. We say pay, and then y'all want to mention Will Johnson saying NIL helped the core stay together as paying. It's a completely different thing, but that'll take me another 2 days to explain to an Ohio State fan. No disrespect to the ones with some brain cells. Mello, you're my guy, trust me. But what I'm saying is, all the money you've paid to keep your roster together or to improve your roster doesn't matter if all you do is slap 5 stars on the field. Sonny Styles has been there, hasn't been developed a lick, bro. Let's keep it funky. If we want to be real, Sonny Styles was supposed to be an All-American by now for sure, and I don't even know if he makes the All-Ohio team right now. That's how bad it is. What's my other guy? CJ Hicks can't touch the field. Now, hopefully he gets on there this year. Maybe he gets on there this year. The point is, y'all don't do a lot of developing. Y'all got Igbinosun away from Ole Miss, but you know what? He was at Ole Miss, and then he came there. And don't get me wrong, I think he's flashed on the field. In fact, he had that stop against, if he doesn't hold me down against Penn State, we may be having a different conversation before y'all even make it to us. But that's a whole nother story. I'm getting too lit on the other state right now, and it's not about that. Culture doesn't have anything to do with the 2024 schedule. It's a problem for you or anyone else. Your season is not going to be fruitful in 2024. I don't know. So when you say it's not gonna be fruitful, like, what do you mean? We not gonna win the national championship? I need details, because I need to know what I'm responding to. That was too general of a comment, bro. Trepa is in here. My guy Trepa. It's 25-year-olds that never saw Michigan do nothing. Unless they died before today, then they definitely saw Michigan do something. In fact, they saw Michigan beat you 3 years running. They saw Michigan make the CFP 3 straight years. They saw Michigan become the only Big Ten team since the playoffs to be 15-0. Get out of here. This is a stupid comment, man. You're better than that. Come with something else, man. Reload, come back. We'll talk about it again. That was trash. That wasn't smart. That just wasn't smart. Let's see this year, bro. I mean, yeah, that's what we play the game for. We're going to see. Hopefully, y'all do better than y'all have. I don't know. Ohio State routinely gets top 5 players and ain't did you know what in 10 years. That's an absolute fact. Snapple top fact right here. Golf claps, Antoine. Michigan fans, and this is now 2 live shows running. Michigan fans have got on here and have spoken the gospel. You hear me? All the tabernacles, Hail Marys, and truths have come from Michigan fans on these lives. I'm just keeping it real with you. No disrespect, but I don't think OSU develops like Michigan does. JTT and Sawyer were 5 stars in high school. They have regressed to 4 stars, in my opinion. 4 stars being generous, Moose. But I get it. Yes. No playoffs. Okay. So you don't think Michigan makes the playoffs in 2024? 12-team playoff. Nah, I can't go there. Michigan's going to make the playoff. Michigan's definitely going to make the playoff. Who is he talking about? Notre Dame is... Man, thank you, Mello, because I didn't want to have to say it. What? Notre Dame... I'm going to just shake my head. 2 natties in 26 years. You guys say that every year. That's a fact. Michigan, Ohio State, come on, bro. I can add up 3 losses for Michigan in 2024. Please tell us who we're going to lose 3 games to. Please. And if USC is one of them, I'm blocking you. I swear. I'm not joking. If you put USC as one of those 3 losses, you got a 15-minute timeout. 10-2. I can see that. 10-2, we still make the playoff. Facts. Texas, Oregon, OSU. Look, I'm not even going to front. I think the Texas game is going to be tough because it's coming right after opening game against Fresno, which I think people are overlooking. I don't think Fresno is going to win, but they're a tougher team than any of the 3 we played last year to start the season. And I think UNLV is an elite team, by the way. I'm joking. They're not elite, but they were serviceable. I do think Fresno, opening with Fresno, is tougher than a lot of Michigan fans want to admit. Again, I think Michigan wins that by multiple scores, though, but it's going to be tough, and then turning around playing Texas. Now, here's where where Texas doesn't frighten me. Xavier, they're losing the wide receiver who just ran the fastest 40 in the history of 40s, who should have been a Michigan Wolverine, by the way, but that's another story. They're losing him. They're losing some talent along that offensive line, but they do have some talent coming in on the offensive line too to replace them. That should be a good game. The good news for Michigan is that game is in the big house, and I'm gonna edge Michigan in that one. Oregon is also in the big house. I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting to see on Oregon, because if the defense is like it was last year, Michigan's gonna destroy Oregon. And I know Oregon's defense was good for a Pac-12 team, right? They played a lot of Pac-12 teams. It's got to be better than that. Is the point. So I'm waiting to see on Oregon, because I know Michigan's defense is going to be legit. There's no question about that. Even with the loss of Rod Moore, there's still a lot of talent on that team. Brandon Hillman, I think, is going to step up at that position. Zeke Berry is still there. Cody Jones is still there. It's a lot of talent there. So I'm not really worried about the secondary as much as I initially was, although losing Rod Moore is big. He is the senior leader on that defense, so at least in the backfield, so the defensive backfield. So I'm not giving the Texas loss. Wait and see on Oregon. I know the other state has a lot to prove, but I'm not worried about them. So undefeated. If there is a loss, I will concede the Oregon loss. We are not losing to Ohio State this year. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. That's not happening. Yours is inconsistent. Facts. Yours is overrated. Agree again. Yours might be. What if, now I don't know who they're playing first, and I'm going to assume it's somebody that they're going to smash. So maybe he won't get in that game. But what if there is a realistic chance yours comes out flat in that game against Michigan and is replaced by the Manning kid? And wouldn't it be crazy if that happened in the big house? Keep an eye out for that. Bet on that game. I'm betting on it. What we betting? Let me know. I come through. We good. DM me, whatever you want to do. We can do it for that one. Manning is yeah, I think so. But it's gonna be, how the fan base wants to see him. That's the thing. People want to see Manning play. Texas, USC, Oregon, one from Washington, and what? I told you 15 minutes. I'm not joking. You think USC in 2024? I'm not saying USC isn't going to be good at some point, even in the near future. Not this. This isn't the year though. USC in 2024 is going to beat Michigan. You're just talking the talk now, and that's not even the most egregious one. Somehow you went more egregious than USC, and you think Illinois is going to beat Michigan. Washington, the team Michigan just destroyed in the Natty, is going to beat Michigan. Somehow they're better. They lost. Lord. Okay. Washington lost. I'm upset. Washington lost Penix Jr. and Roma Dunze. And you think they're going to beat Michigan, who on the defensive side is still a monster. Athletically, might have. No, the answer is no. And where's because you got to get this 15 minutes. I'm not joking. We're putting you in timeout. Put user in the timeout. There we go. Timeout. Flag on the play. What was that? USC. Connor Stallion lives in Ohio State fan said, Satan down South fan bots are incredibly delusional. Anyone who doesn't play or coach for them that's a fact. That's guys, Notre Dame beats USC every year. Right. You guys just had your way with USC with Caleb Williams, by the way, right? You, and you think Michigan, man, come on, don't project on us, bro. Don't project on us your failures. Washington and Illinois both will be average at best. Thank you very much, Mello. That was a hilarious take. It was an awful take. It was so bad that it was hilarious. Come on, man. Make me a mod so I can block it. I thought you already were. I'll do that again. But yeah, man, that's crazy talk. 3 losses. I stand by it. Texas, Oregon, OSU will be a. Are you saying all 3 of those are going to be blowouts? Please, Mello. Please don't do this. I want better for you. I'm trying to protect you like I was trying to protect Ryan last year. All right, don't do this. You don't want to do this. Give me the power so I can block him. I'm telling you, man, Michael be sniffing that Peruvian flake. Defense wins championship. Almost all of our natty defensive players are back in 2024. This is a major fact. The only reason Texas is even a question is because of our offense is all new, and it's the second game. True. Absolutely new life. It's a great point. Our offense is very new. We have a new offensive coordinator calling plays for the first time in Kirk Campbell. So that is a reason that's a cause for pause for sure. Even if Michigan loses 2 games, we still going absolutely. Irish children push buttons just to do so. F them. I blocked him. He's blocked. What time? What's his timer on, man? Because that's crazy, bro. Crazy talk. Michael is the ultimate troll. USC defense could give up 50 plus to a great school football team. At a grade school. I'm thinking you're meaning grade school. I agree. Okay. So you're saying the OSU game is going to be a blowout. We're going to lose it. Okay. All right. Look. Where's Ryan? I don't know where Ryan at, man. He been ducking you since he ain't put that Brutus joint on yet, bro. Nah, that's cap. Julian is ridiculous. I think Michigan could go 10-2, 11-1. All right. Look, I'm standing by 12-0 right now. With waiting to see if Oregon is a good defensive team, because like I said, they played in the Pac-12. They were playing Pac-12 teams, and I'm not impressed with you having a good defense in the Pac-12. No disrespect, because I do think Oregon is a good program, but we need to see it. You gotta go beat some real teams out here, out in the Midwest. They play real football. Show us then, and then we'll talk about it. But until then, give me Michigan in the big house. So basically, here's my problem with Mello and even anybody who thinks like Texas and Oregon are going to be. That would be 2 losses in the big house. Where, by the way, I'm pretty sure Michigan has like the longest win streak in the country at home right now. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but 2 losses in the big house just doesn't. I don't know about that, man. I can't go that far. Dan Lanning and Sark are the same thing. Just watch, they will outcoach themselves. Look, I've been calling Dan Lanning Diet James Franklin, all right? Because here are the facts. Dan Lanning, and I know he's only 2 years on the job, but he's lost the big games. That's just a fact. He lost to Washington twice last year. He lost to Utah. Did he lose to the Utah twice? Or was that the year before Cristobal lost to Utah twice? I think Cristobal lost to Utah twice. But either way, the point is he loses the big games. He's Diet James Franklin, and now he's in the same conference as James Franklin. They get to play each other for who is the real Slim Shady or James Franklin. In fact, that's the song I'm going to play when that game, whenever they play each other, we got to play that song. Texas and Oregon's coach must be related to Franklin. Facts. Too many changes. No more 23-year-olds. Y'all have to prove it. We do have to prove it. But we got a lot of talent on defense, man. And like homie said, defense wins championships. I'm not really worried. I gotta be honest. It's not like nobody's scoring 40 on Michigan. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm gonna declare that right now. Nobody's scoring 40 on Michigan. Nobody's scoring over 30 on Michigan this season. This upcoming season, nobody will score 30 or more on Michigan. And if you can't score 30 points, and I'm not Michigan's offense is a wait and see. I'm gonna give you that. However, there are dogs on that offense. Samaj Morgan, Tyler Morris, Donovan is coming back. The Don is coming back. I know that gives Ohio State fans PTSD, especially in Columbus where we'll play this year. Yeah, I'm not worried. The defense is the defense. RDB top 10 again, top 5. They might be number 1 again. Ohio State don't even have a real quarterback. Get out of here. That's a fact, bro. I think there were rumors that like Julian Sayin is outplaying all of Ohio State's quarterback, including Will Howard, who just got there from the transfer portal. I'm gonna go ahead and unblock Mike. I think you've learned your lesson, I would hope. That was crazy, bro. I can't believe you did that, man. I'm upset with you for that. Cap, what's the cap? What would I say that was wrong? I don't think I said anything cap worthy, bro. Hi, it's Lou Esposito. All right, but back to Lou Esposito. I did get a squirrel moment there, and it's Michael. It's Dallas fans' fault for that with his nonsense, bro. That was nonsense. But anyway, Lou Esposito, Michigan's new defensive line coach. I don't know about him in terms of his recruiting ability, so I can't really speak on that. I know he's, as a developer, as a coach, as a teacher, I do believe in him. I'm going to say that. But we need more than that, right? There still needs to be some talent on the team. We need him to be able to recruit at a high level. We know, and I was going to make a joke there, but drinking and driving is a real thing. So I'm not going to make a joke about that. But we know that Greg Scruggs, if nothing else, had a lot of defensive linemen's attention, and he could recruit. Hopefully, Lou Esposito can recruit. From what I've seen, he's a fiery guy. He was a player's coach. I saw him crowd surfing in the locker room with the players. So he looks like a fun guy. And he definitely, like I said, can teach the position. He's done a good job of that in his time at Western Michigan. So I can't take anything away from that. That said, so far, Sherrone Moore's Michigan staff looks set. I am happy with it. I think a lot of people are happy with it. Let's take a look at it here. Head coach, of course, Sherrone Moore. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, Kirk Campbell. Running backs coach and run game coordinator, Tony Alford, who's already bearing fruit, by the way. Tony Alford, a recruiting ace. Michigan and Sherrone Moore did a great job in landing him. I stand by that 1,000%. Wide receivers coach, pass game coordinator, Ron Bellamy. Let's pause right here. And Michigan fans might be upset with me, but we do need to talk about this. Ron Bellamy needs to do better. All right, let me say that. First, on the recruiting trail, Ron Bellamy needs to do better on the recruiting trail. Secondly, Ron Bellamy needs to do better at developing the wide receiver position. All right. I know he took a guy like Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell ended up being an NFL draft choice. We know that. Cool. But a lot of the things that people were talking about with Michigan wide receivers was their inability to separate. And that's not a good thing. That's not great. Ron Bellamy has to do better than what he's done so far. I'm not poo-pooing on Ron Bellamy because I understand that Michigan's offense is reliant on the run game, right? No doubt about it. However, that doesn't mean that when called upon, when you want to pass or have to pass, that your quarterback needs to scramble around like a chicken with his head cut off a lot, like JJ did on several occasions last year and the year before. All right. Guys need to be able to separate from coverage. And so far they haven't been able to do that on a consistent basis. And Ron Bellamy has to take some of that heat. Also, like I said on the recruiting trail, Ron Bellamy is losing far too many recruiting battles for wide receivers. Listen, and I don't even know how involved with this recruitment he was in terms of Gatlin Bear, who's going on a retreat for 2 years, LDS mission for 2 years. But initially, Michigan lost the recruiting battle for Gatlin Bear to Boise State, fam. Let me repeat that. Michigan lost the wide receiver recruiting battle to Boise State. That should never happen. Now, I get that. I think Jay Harbaugh was in on that one. And I forget who else. It might have been Ron Bellamy, Jim Harbaugh, but Ron Bellamy's the wide receiver coach. He should be involved. He should be heavily involved. And Michigan lost that battle to Boise State. That should never happen, ever. Then Michigan re-lost the battle after he decommits from Boise to Oregon. Now that one, okay, whatever. We understand that Michigan lost a lot of the coaching staff, a lot of the guys, all of the guys who were actually recruiting Gatlin Bear, fair. But I mean, it still sucked a little bit, especially when initially Michigan had the crystal ball. So that's the point. Ron Bellamy has to do better. I just wanted to say that. All right, moving on. Tight ends coach Steve Kasula. I like it. I think he's going to do great at that position. Grant Newsome is the new offensive line coach. Grant Newsome was excellent as the tight ends coach. This is a natural progression into the offensive line coach, and I think he will excel there. I'm not worried. And even if he doesn't necessarily excel to begin with, Sherrone Moore is there. But that is neither here nor there. I think he will excel. What I've heard from the practices, though, is that the offensive line still gelling. They have been struggling a little bit against Michigan's defensive front, but I think everybody's going to struggle against Michigan's defensive front. If I'm being fair, I'm hearing that Barham, the linebacker transfer from Maryland, is flashing. That is also to be expected. He's an excellent athlete. So there's that. But I have no worries about the offensive line. I think they'll figure that out. Defensive coordinator Wink Martindale, the architect of Michigan's defense the last few years, is now the defensive coordinator. There have been talks about him being more aggressive than Mentor or McDonald. I believe that, especially he's fresh out of like the NFL. He's been in the NFL for a long time. I do believe he's more aggressive. Let me tell you something, Wink Martindale. Come late November, don't put us in a situation where we got to say Don Brown 2.0. I'm not worried about it right now. We're going to wait and see. But I'm hearing there's a lot of man coverage being utilized in practice. Don Brown, of course, was a man coverage maven, and it cost us mightily against Urban Meyer and those vile, disgusting Buckeyes in Columbus. All right, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll wait and see. Defensive line coach, newly hired, Lou Esposito. We know that. Linebackers coach Brian Jean-Marie, who is also a recruiting ace. I'm hearing great things there. Defensive backs coach Lamar Morgan. Jury's still out, but I like him. He has contacted a bunch of guys that Michigan was already in contact with. One thing I don't like is apparently he has not been in contact with Elijah Dotson, who is right down the street. I've had on the channel, I've spoken with. He's an excellent kid, and he just got upgraded to a 4-star. So get in contact with Elijah Dotson. Special teams coordinator, J.B. Brown. I like the staff. Bottom line is that's the bottom line. I like the staff. I think Michigan's going to be great. I know a lot of people have been commenting. By the way, if you're in here, like the live, share this on social media. If you haven't liked it, go ahead, like it now. I'll give you a minute. And we're back. Thank you. Like the live. Shout out to Groove. You know I've been said that about Ron Bellamy. That's a fact. Ron Bellamy needs to show us something. Tell me, yeah, that channel is such a serious channel. Zach, wife abuser. Smith is such a clown. I don't know what's happening right now. Maybe I shouldn't have read that one. I don't know what's going on. Let me find this Tim person. What's he saying? Melo has come from Menace to Sports. The infiltration has started. Oh, nah, bro. Melo's been over here. Melo good. He good. It's my favorite op, actually. He's the ops, but he's my favorite one. Damn, that's a great hire. Anyway, Melo's cool. Be cool. I agree that Ron does need to do better. Let's see what he does now that Jim is not there. That's a fact. OSU doesn't have a quarterback. Their best quarterback went to Syracuse. Isn't that something? That's a fact. The Honda McCord is now at Syracuse. And he would have been the best quarterback on that roster without a doubt. Without a doubt. Nah, Michigan can get money for NIL. OSU, Michigan, Texas A&M, Oregon can easily run NIL. That's a fact. I brought this up too on Scarlet and Blue, on the Scarlet and Blue show. The state of Michigan hasn't done Michigan any favors either on the NIL front until recently. I think recently they opened some things up, but the state legislature also holds teams back, and they were definitely holding Michigan back for a minute. And you couple that with Michigan holding themselves back, Ward Manuel. I'm not going to dive into that, but Melo is definitely not wrong in saying that Michigan can raise a lot of money. There's no doubt about it. Michigan, Ohio State, all the schools he named, Texas A&M, all those schools can raise a lot of money. Oregon, of course, Phil Knight can raise a lot of money. Absolutely. Kind of talking sideways now, brother. Are we talking about Ron? You think I'm talking sideways about Ron Bellamy? Let me know. Yeah, everyone leaving had an effect on Bear going to Oregon. I agree with that. Thank God that bum left. Who we talking about? Who's a bum? That's why I don't hold my breath anymore when I see Michigan Crystal. Bellamy clearly has to do better recruiting. I thank you. I have to throw the ball more. If you want receivers, easy solution, not rocket science. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Michigan, but here's the thing. Melo, and follow me on this. Michigan has never really been an air it out team, right? I think the season high for touchdowns is like 27, bro. All right. So it's 28, something like that. It's not crazy. But they've had like great receivers throughout that time. You go back to Desmond Howard, Braylon Edwards, David Terrell, like Amani Toomer. There have been great wide receivers at Michigan, even though it was always a run first program. Now I agree that Michigan needs to air it out a little more, but they can still get great talent and not necessarily be a pass first team. But we'll see what happens. It is a new day too, so got to take that into account too. People acting like Don Wink Martin is Don Brown is in disguise. Okay. I'm not saying he's Don Brown in disguise. What I am saying is I've heard a lot of man-to-man talk, and we know for a fact Don Brown playing man-to-man against Ohio State specifically, and those crossing routes killed Michigan like 3 years straight, and he never changed anything. Now, I believe that Wink Martindale will make adjustments, if nothing else. And sometimes you have to play man-to-man, right? Michigan played man-to-man at times last year. Michigan played a lot of man-to-man last year. That's not the point. The point is when you only play man-to-man, and I'm not accusing Wink Martin of doing this or Wink Martindale of doing this. However, don't fall into the Don Brown pattern for sure. Or we're going to be calling for his job early. And I don't feel like we will be. So Bellamy is definitely the weakest link. He was in New York. Thank God he left. Oh, oh man, come on, bro. Piss shallow, let it mellow, blah, blah, blah. Mellow making enemies in here. Go Blue fans, amen. Go Blue. Gatlin Bear chose Boise, then Oregon because he wants to be close to home. Michigan was the best choice career-wise, but Gatlin needs his mommy. That may be true too. You gotta, it's a lot of reason kids choose the schools they choose. Y'all not covering us, man. Man, y'all got that's Hibachi. Look, it's a lot of receiver talent over there at the other state, but it's always been a lot of been having receivers. So what? So we want 5-star receiver when all we know. What are we? Come on, man. What? So we want 5-star receivers when all we know. When we all know. My bad. We all know what we are. People that's lunacy. Now when we put up necessary numbers in the air. So look, Roderick Alexander, good point. I'm not necessarily saying we need 5-star talent wide receivers. I am saying we need to recruit that position better than we have, right? And I'm saying we need production out of that position more than we have going forward. We have again. Michigan is a run first team. I think they should not stray away from that necessarily. That's not what I'm calling for. What I am saying is that when the time comes that Michigan either wants to or needs to pass the ball, they need to be able to do that. Right? JJ made a lot of plays last year, and I think people are forgetting he got a lot of time in the pocket, and then when that time expired, he was able to make plays because he was athletic. He was able to make plays outside of the pocket. Plays that come to mind immediately. The play rolling out to his left against Nebraska, throwing a dart to the same side of the field. That's one. I can go on and on though. Like even against Alabama, we saw his legs make plays to extend the play. You know what I mean? And that's because guys aren't getting separation immediately. That's what I'm talking about. No disrespect to Ron Bellamy, respectfully, but respectfully, we need better. He needs to be better. I'm not calling for his job or anything like that, but it needs to get better for sure. I'm gonna jump down because I know it's been a lot of comments now. Dude, weight program real at OSU. Y'all about to F around, find out. Clearly, you never worked out 3 months. Long time. Players who will join the USC in the summer for camp include Kyron Hudson, Jacoby Lane, Zachariah Branch, Taj Washington. Branch is real. But none of these. Nobody. The problem with USC isn't their offense. Nobody's worried about their offense. And I saw they got some defensive guys in the portal and stuff like that. But they got defensive guys in the portal last year. It's not about getting the guys. The guys are cool. I mean, it's USC. They got a lot of talent. But so what? Right? That same coach was at Oklahoma, who we know can play some defense sometimes. They weren't good on defense. And because of that, they lost in the big moments. He can coach quarterbacks. We know that. He can coach offense. We know that. He can't delegate properly on the defensive side of the ball. He doesn't want enough out of the defensive side of the ball. Also, something else that people don't pay attention to is this. Even those the great offenses like USC has, when they go 3 and out, because they're passing the ball and no time has really come off that clock, right? This happened to them against Notre Dame. They did 3 pass plays. How many times did they go out there and throw all 3 straight times and then have to punt it away? And no time came off that clock and the defense has to go back out there. That's the problem. That's going to happen again with this guy calling plays because he likes the flashy plays. He wants the big play and he's going to get some of them. The problem is when he doesn't every time, and then they go 3 and out, and Michigan drives that defense down the field, 87 yards, running it down their throat, right? And let's say they sustain a drive and get 3 first downs, right? And then punt it. But then they get the ball and they go 3 and out. Then Michigan drives where it gets 2 first downs, punt. Then they 3 and out. You see what I'm saying? The defense is getting no time. The turnaround is quick for them. Even when they score quickly, turnaround quick. They're not built for the Big Ten, bro. That's just a fact. That's a fact. That's why they don't play y'all in late November in Indiana anyway, but y'all make the trip to California in late November. They play y'all before November in Indiana. They're trying to play all the good teams in the Big Ten before November at away anyway, because they know what's up. They know it's not a cakewalk, and they're going to get spanked. And they're not going to get spanked because teams are going to out-talent them all the time. Teams are just going to beat the brakes off of them slowly, right? We're going to beat every part off of them until they quit. They're going to tap out around the third quarter, and when they're not scoring all the flashy touchdowns and they're having to grind the game out, he hasn't grinded a game out. That's his problem. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm not facing the 2023 USC defense. Okay, yeah, okay. Must be talking about USC or UCLA. Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. USC. I'm not even worried about UCLA. I'm not, no disrespect to them. They are an afterthought. I don't think we played them this year either, so that's another reason not to talk about them. But I'm not worried about USC. We're going to grind them to a pulp. Bottom line. One positive. Michigan has a solid group of returning starters, so it's missing for many years. The younger players will be accountable to them as well as the coaches. That's a fact. Michigan has had this for the last 3 years, returning starters, especially on the defensive side. I think Michigan is going to be super solid. Offensively, they got some talent coming back too. The Don is coming back again. I say that, and the other state shivers a little bit. The Don quaking in their boots right now. I think the last time USC played Iowa, of course. You know why? Because Iowa plays defense and sustains a drive. Well, I mean, I can't say that they sustain a drive these days, but I'm sure that that's what happened in that one. And USC tried to run up and down the field on them. It's not going to happen. It's just not the way it works. They can do that when they're playing Oregon State or somebody, Colorado, right? You can run up and down the field on Colorado. You can run up and down the field on Arizona State, Arizona, or whoever. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to run up and down the field on Iowa. You're not going to run up and down the field on the other state. You're not going to run up and down the field on Rutgers. Rutgers right now, I would pick to beat USC if the game was tomorrow. Now, I think it's going to be trash. And through you talk about Esposito and his elite talent evaluation development yet. I did talk about him a little bit. Not super familiar. Only what I've read, because I'm going to be honest, like I said, didn't watch a lot of Western Michigan football. But, John, if you have something to add to the conversation, please. It is open discussion for sure. McCord looks, fires, intercepted, Rod Moore. I like it. Dumb comment of the night from Antoine. What Twan say? USC has a dumb philosophy like OSU. I think they can get brand name players, fix the problem. It's not the players, it's the teachers. Guess that's what he was. I have no problem with that comment. I just spoke about how Ohio State slaps a 5-star out there. That's what they did with JTT and Sawyer. What has Larry Johnson taught them, though? And I'm no disrespect to Larry Johnson, because I think he's a good teacher, but I mean, I do think it's time for him to walk away too. But I digress. It's not my clown. It's not my circus. Do what you guys want to do over there. USC defensive coordinator D'Anton Lynn. It's not a game, so whatever you think about 2023 isn't anything like his defense in 2024. He was not at USC last year. Okay. So he hired somebody in the comment section. Please tell me, who did Lincoln Riley hired last year to be the defensive coordinator. Whoever the defensive coordinator was, comments it, please, really quick. Because that guy was respected too. It's not necessarily the defensive coordinator's fault. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not necessarily going to be that guy's fault. D'Anton Lynn, he probably can coach the hell out of some defense. No doubt about it. And maybe early on, he does do well. It's going to be late in that third quarter, into the fourth quarter, when it won't matter. Right? When Michigan has 187 yards rushing and I'm not saying in one quarter, but in the third quarter, 187 yards rushing, and you look up and the score is 21-13, let's just say, right? And you're behind after you've played this close game and this flash in the pan offense. And let me not call it flash in the pan, because I actually think Lincoln Riley he can call some plays. The problem is when he gets into that rut, and it's bound to happen, he's going to go 3 and out. He's going to go 3 and out consecutively for consecutive, runs with the football. And guess what's going to happen? That defense is going to be tired. Here's the craziest part. He's going to go 3 and out. Then let's say they catch a bomb. Boom. Branch scores on a touchdown. That was a first down. He scored on the touchdown. The defense is right back out there. You see what I'm saying? It's not even the defensive coordinator's fault. It's Lincoln Riley's fault. It's going to be Lincoln Riley's fault that this team isn't as successful as a lot of people think that they should be, as everyone wants them to be. It's not gonna be D'Anton Lynn's fault. If that's how, I'm sorry if I'm messing up his name. It's gonna be Lincoln Riley's fault. But I don't want to give away too much. I hope Lincoln Riley is not watching, or is watching. He just believes in himself. Believe in yourself, Lincoln. Bring that to the big house, and we'll show you what I'm talking about. Send you back to sunny Los Angeles with a fresh ale. But at least you'll have the sun. You can go to Venice Beach or something. I don't know. Lick your wounds. It's not going to happen the way that anybody thinks that it's going to happen, though. My bad. I'm not worried about USC. That's just a fact. Did Ryan Day spend a penny of the $13 million NIL money on offensive or defensive lines? Yeah, he got – that's a great question, Dom. He got the dude from Alabama that might have cost them the Rose Bowl. He's now a Buckeye, so they did do that. Fun times over there in Columbus. Mello RD will be right up there again this year. Obviously, it won't be 2023 elite, but can be elite this year. I don't see a reason why it can't be 2023 elite. It can be better than 2023. I get we lost Jenkins. We lost Junior Colson, Mike Barrett. Rod Moore is out for the season. Josh Wallace gone. But this is what we have. We still have Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Stewart, Moore. That's the starting four on the defensive line. Eno Ita, from what I'm hearing, is a beast, and he's been moved inside now. I'm not worried. Barham might be better than all of the linebackers from last year. I know it's crazy. Everybody loves Junior Colson. He might be better than everyone. I think Barrett even had like the highest PFF score of all the linebackers, but Barham might be better than him. Will Johnson is a year older, a year better. There's Makari Page, who's back. Zeke Berry is in that secondary somewhere. Cody Jones, Brandon Hillman. I'm gonna roll with Michigan. I think Michigan's defense will be okay. Mason Graham, complete monster. Dogs off the leash all season. Absolutely. Michigan just may have upgraded at linebacker. Facts. Barham and my guy Hausman. Hausman, by the way, last year probably should have been the starter. Because he was making no disrespect to Junior Colson because I love Junior Colson, but there is a but here. I'm just gonna hold it. There's a lot of talent still on this team. Facts. Shout out to my man Nick Saban Jr. Salute, sir. We got to do it again, by the way. Got to get you on the show. Upcoming, I'll hit you. Pause. No Diddy. But yeah, we'll work it out. Development, grit, ownership, smashing opponents on the field have been our not so secret ingredients. Punk step up to get beat down. I haven't heard that in a long time. But shout out to Junior Martinez. That's a fact. USC DC, D'Anton Linton elevated UCLA's defense from ranking number 87 in 2022 to finish in 2023 regular season, ranked 11 in the nation. That's dope, man. Look, I am not blaming this man if this defense fails, and I'm sure it will. It is not going to be his fault. You keep talking about him. He's not going to be the problem. I've addressed what the problem is. Address that. Everyone always sleeping on Kenneth Grant. That's a fact, and Kenneth Grant is not to be slept on. Now, he's a beast as well, but Graham, the best DT and tackle in college football. That's a fact. Baum almost got us last year. I do remember that. As a Wolverine who lives in Kalamazoo and works Western Michigan, it sucked watching Western Michigan blow it versus MSU and the tourney earlier today. Yeah. Damn it, man. Michael Campbell, you talk about USC more than USC fans do. Here's the thing. Mike needs USC to be successful to kind of justify and put Notre Dame on a pedestal. That's the only reason he's in here screaming USC, bro. Let's be real. USC is not good. Because Notre Dame beat them, I guess, now we're supposed to respect them. I don't know. Whatever. We got a super chat from my guy Dom. Gotta go. Congrats for reaching 5,000 subs. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Hard work always pays off. Salute, my guy. I appreciate it, Dom. How's school going? I'll email you or something. We'll talk later. But thank you. I don't know, man. I think Grant has a higher ceiling. This is an interesting debate. We got to debate this one. We're going to talk about this one, Moose. Does Kenneth Grant have a higher ceiling than Mason Graham? That's an interesting topic. One worth discussing. We'll talk about it. If Michigan gets by North Dakota, we'll play MSU and get revenge versus MSU for the Big Ten title game. Fact. By the way, people who don't know, John is talking about hockey right now. And I think MSU finished 4-1 against Michigan this season. But the hope is absolutely we need to get by North Dakota. We'll see what happens. USC is my rival, just like you talking about Ohio State. No, I mean, that's fine. I get that they're your rival. One thing I'm not doing is blowing smoke up Ohio State's ass, though. Like, Ohio State, it does have talent, right? Ohio State won't beat Michigan this year for the same reason they didn't beat Michigan in 21, 22, or 23. I stand by that. And you, though, are over here bloviating about USC like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread when we have no evidence or reason to believe that they are going to be what you say they're going to be. Number one, they're losing the best player in college football, according to everyone, right? At least 2 years ago, he was voted the best player in college football. He's going to be the number one overall pick in the draft, according to everyone. They're losing that guy, and somehow we should be worried about them. I just can't make myself care about them enough, number one, and they have to show something. They have to prove something. It's not worth talking about, honestly. You and the rest of Notre Dame and USC fans can fight about that on the internet. I'm not. Like, it is what it is. Come the week of that game, I'll talk about it. After that game, we'll talk about it briefly. We'll pray for, they're injured. And then we'll move on. Man, we just play football. like it was meant to be played in your face. Ops scared to be tackled, especially late in games. Facts. Congrats on 5,000 subs. I appreciate it, Moose. Thank you to everyone, by the way, who helped me get there. All of your subs, and I appreciate everybody. By the way, hit the like button if you haven't. I'll give you a second. And we're back. Thank you. Because I think the NFL guys will like Grant more. He has better physical trait, but Grant is a beast. Graham is a beast. Graham is an absolute monster. It's hard for me to not say Graham is the best. Notre Dame beat Navy, moved them up the right. JTT is such a one-hit trick guy. Dude can't verse anyone but Penn State. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. Mason Graham is tough, bro. His first step is crazy. Yep. Only Mike Hall had a quicker first step. We aren't kissing OSU's ass, though. Facts. Facts. Bro, I'm not even. It is what it is, man. You can't talk to somebody. Some people just don't get it, right? Shout out to Nick Saban Jr. Preach. Some people just don't get it, Nick. Just don't get it. KG, that shows degree of returning talent. Yeah, man, I want to thank everybody who came out to support the live tonight. Davis Warren. Is he going to be are you saying that because he's going to be the starter? I don't know. I don't know if Davis Warren is going to be the starter. Hell yeah, M3. Proud. Thank you, sir. Thank you. They complement each other perfectly. That's a fact. If we're talking about Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, that is a Snapple top fact. OSU win by 14 plus in November. And then you say that. Oh, man, this is hilarious. Look, Mello, I'm going to have all season to school you on why that is not going to happen. But one of the main reasons that's not going to happen is this right here, right? You just said the quiet part out loud for Ohio State fans. Those two guys are going to wreak havoc in that Ohio State backfield. You throw in Josiah Stewart, you throw in Derek Moore. It's going to be a race to the quarterback. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Racing to your quarterback. Y'all should start Jaden Davis. If Jaden Davis is the best, we'll start him. Lincoln Riley, quarterback issues. His resume is clear for that position. How many quarterbacks of his are in the NFL? So Caleb Williams isn't the end of his career of doing what he does best, developing quarterbacks. I didn't say he had quarterback issues. Just said the best quarterback in college football is leaving. Right? Are you saying that the next guy is the best quarterback in college football? Let us know. Stand on it. I don't who somebody tell me who the starting quarterback is for USC. You see what I'm saying? That's how much I care. Tell me who the starting quarterback is for USC, somebody. And then Michael, you tell me if that guy is the best quarterback in college football. And then maybe we had something. I don't know. I truly believe that. I know you do. That's why it's even more funny. You believe that you're gonna beat us by 14 plus, and I think that's crazy talk. That can't be true. I have Warren QB5. We'll be perfectly fine. All right. OSU's quarterback will have PTSD after the Michigan game. Facts. Congrats on 5,000. I appreciate that, Sabri. Sabri, I'm saying it's Sabri, right? I appreciate it. Either way, I appreciate it. Can't wait for the spring game. It'll be interesting to see how juggle quarterbacks. I'm very interested to see who will be the starting quarterback for Michigan this year. I'm hearing a lot of bad things so far. Let me not say that. Not bad things. I'm hearing that the offense is behind the defense. But that's to be expected too. Like Michigan's defense is going to be elite once again this year. So I'm not really surprised at that. And by the way, Wink Martindale has really been ratcheting up the pressure according to the reports. So, we'll see what happens. He doesn't have to be the best quarterback in college football. He just needs to be one of them. I just balling. Okay. All right, man. Look. Miller Miss USC quarterback. Okay. Talk about USC quarterback. Yeah, USC quarterback, bottom of the barrel. Here's the thing. I'm not even gonna do this anymore. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, you think USC is gonna be good, more power to you. Fine, you guys gonna play. Then they're gonna beat you. Then, right? I don't know. Whatever. USC is gonna be good. Fine. Anyway, thank everybody for coming out tonight. Shout out to everyone. Thank you for helping the channel reach 5,000. Be sure to check out my guy Nick Saban Jr. and his channel. If anybody else has a channel, let's drop it in here. Be sure to check my interview out on Scarlet and Blue Show. It was a good time over there with Buckeye Garrison and Bryce. Great episode, if the best episode they've had, in my opinion, my humble opinion. No disrespect, because they do a great show every week. But yeah, until next time, stay angry, my friends.